So these are the new theme park attractions opening in 2026, and on paper it doesn't look like much, but there are some milestones in there and a few little rides as well. Oh yeah, and there's a rumour of a much loved attraction coming back to the UK, so stick around for that one as well. Right, let's start in the UK, shall we? And we'll go down to Paultons Park. Now they are giving us an entire new area plus a brand new coaster. The coaster is Drakon, and that is their Gerstlauer Eurofighter. I'm not a massive fan of Gerstlauer rides in general, and certainly not the Eurofighter model, especially with over-the-shoulder restraints, which they've said they're putting on this ride. So I'll reserve judgment until I have been on it. One thing we can say for sure is that the area looks spectacular. They've released some construction footage already, and it's what you'd expect from Paultons. It is absolutely beautiful. Of course, Cobra is also getting a paint job and a re-theme into Raven, as well as some new restaurants, etc. So I'm keen to see this one. I hope to be down there for opening day, and I'll bring the footage to you when I'm there. Speaking of opening days, another ride that I hope to be there for opening day, in fact I've paid to be one of the first riders on it, is Aviktas in Blackpool. Now, some of you are well aware of how important this ride is, and some of you dismiss it as, oh, it's just a travelling swinging ride. And I get that, because on the face of it, it just looks like every other swinging ride out there. And actually, from what I've heard from outside the park, it doesn't look as big as it does up close, which kind of is the same as when I went to Liseberg and went on Loki. Again, from the distance, I was like, doesn't look that big. Then I stood under it and went on it and realised it's massive. So I am super excited to see this one. Obviously, I'm not expecting a ridiculous amount of theming. It's not really Blackpool's strength. They are an amusement park after all. But they have got some kind of snake theming going on there. There is this kind of tease of a backstory. So I'm curious what the end result will be. And I'm also curious whether those food units are going to stick around as well. But definitely keen to get on this one. That little clip I put at the start with me kind of on the ride, the first attempt when I asked AI to do that, it had me flapping my arms like wings. Yeah. Right, we've also got some smaller family attractions coming. And the first one is the Bluey coaster over in Alton Towers. Now, to be fair, this is more than any of us expected, because when we first saw the plans, it looked ridiculously basic. Like to the point where we're like, why have you put this ride in, and why are you taking Postman Pat out? Now that the track is constructed though, it is definitely more sizable than we anticipated. Still not going to be forceful by any stretch of the imagination. It's probably a good kind of transition though from Octonauts up to Runaway Mine Train perhaps, sort of somewhere in the middle of that. Zero model, probably going to be reasonably smooth. I suspect it's a one lap special. Might be lucky and get two. Maybe not initially, because I suspect the queues will be large for this one. Don't know when it's opening, don't know an official name for it, but I mean, a cred's a cred, right? Another similarly kind of sized ride is the Paw Patrol coaster down in Chessington. Now, this is where Scorpion used to be. They basically ripped out that whole area. Annoyingly, they didn't take Rattlesnake with them, but they are putting in this whole new Paw Patrol section with a couple of flat rides and, of course, this new coaster. Again, not sure exactly the opening date. Should be next year. And we don't know the official name for the ride, but probably very similar to the one in Towers, although I think it's slightly shorter in height, but I'll probably go and try that one out as well. So one that we assume we're getting next year, but we've had no confirmation, is over in Flamingoland, the kind of upgrade or modernisation of the Lost River ride. This has been out of action for quite some time. Obviously 2025 they did a lot of work on it. Initially there were some speculations it might actually come back in 2025. Evidently that did not happen, so I really hope this is 2026, because I mean at the end of the day it's not a huge upgrade. They've basically taken their water ride, reduced the height of it, and put some sort of simulator thing in there from SimWorks, which I'm curious to see. Obviously not experienced that, so I always say I'm not going back to Flamingoland because I just find the park kind of a bit depressing and miserable. I probably will go if this opens and give it a shot. Unlikely to be there for opening day because I don't think it'll be ready. But yeah, curious to see what this turns out to be when it finally opens. Right then, a little bit further down in Devon. I went to Creeley a few months back. Park invited me down for the announcement of their new ride, or new rides, I should say. The thing is, it's kind of all gone quiet, right? So they basically said they're going to have the tallest ride in Devon, which we all suspect is going to be the former Magma Drop Tower from Paultons. Again, unconfirmed. And then they also teased that there's going to be the first inverting ride in the area as well. We still don't know what this is. They put up a silhouette. It could be an air race. Some people thought it would be a top spin. Not sure that's going to happen. Some people also thought it might be the Red Arrows thing from Blackpool getting shifted down there. Who knows? As I say, it's all gone quiet. I suspect it's still happening. I don't know what the opening date is, and I mean, depending on what it is, I might pop back down again and give that a shot as well, because I think next year there's going to be quite a bit of UK content from the channel. The last one I've got for the UK is it's kind of positive and kind of boring at the same time. Lightwater Valley is getting Spinning Racer. Now, the park was recently taken over by the Millers Group, and it's been needing some love for some time, right? They've obviously been stripping out attractions. The Ultimate went, which I'm sadly never got on, and basically taking out all that kind of thrill stuff and just going really, really family, which we've seen across the board now. It's not unique to this park, but it does feel like they're finally getting some investment, albeit this is a coaster that has moved from elsewhere, so it's not brand new. But it is still something just to kind of get the ball rolling and hopefully the beginning of more investments. So may not be the best thing out there, but I'm still keen to see the progress of this park. Right, so if we look internationally, quite a bit is happening. Two of the LEGO parks are getting a galactic coaster. One of them in California, one of them in Florida. Now, the concept art is exactly the same for both, so I'm assuming to save money, it is literally a clone, basically building the exact same ride in both places. Curious what that's going to look like, and of course if we ever get an equivalent here in the Legoland Windsor. Then over in Six Flags New England, Quantum Accelerator. Now this ride was supposed to open last year. In fact, I'm pretty sure when Andy Coaster Crazy was there, he was hoping to get on it, and then they changed their mind and went, actually it's opening in 2026. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, because the ride seemed to be complete and ready to go. Interestingly, it's kind of a straddle coaster type thing, and it happened around the same time as Dark Coaster was closed in Busch Gardens, so I don't know if there's maybe some changes needed to be made to that model, etc. But anyway, if you're out that neck of the woods, there'll be a new coaster for you. Right, over in SeaWorld Antonia, we're getting Barracuda Strike. Now, again, this is a B&M family suspended coaster, so probably similar to the Big Bad Wolf that I went on in Busch Gardens and was very underimpressed with. Maybe kind of the demographic would be okay with it. It's rattly, you know, I mean, it's kind of, you hear it a lot about B&M. Sometimes it's distracting, sometimes it's just there. But yeah, definitely not the quality you usually expect for B&M. So I'm curious about this one. The concept art has it kind of underwater, which evidently it will not be, but it would be really cool if there was kind of like an underwater tunnel section, you know, with kind of all the sea life around you. Don't think that's going to happen though, but it's another coaster coming to the US. Right, over in Germany, Hansa Park is getting a coaster known as the Cornwall Coaster. Of all the things to call a coaster, the Cornwall Coaster? Yep. Right, back over to the US again, and we've got Universal over in Hollywood, and they are getting Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. Now, this is complete, it has been testing, they have showed off the ride vehicles at IAAPA, and it does look fantastic. Intimate, obviously, so it's not going to be a bad ride. They very rarely miss. It's got that kind of rotating cars thing going on. It seems to be controlled rotation rather than kind of free spinning. But then so it's Guardians of the Galaxy, and I really enjoy that. We are obviously curious what's happening with the replacement for Rip Ride Rocket. This is a contender, but many people think we're going to get this or a clone or similar version of this over in Florida. Of course, the park hasn't said anything yet, but they are constructing it. Right, we're getting a couple of record breakers next year, which typically is not something you hear these days. I mean, you'll often find parks using some marketing gimmick, like, hey, this is the tallest ride in the next 5 miles, or hey, this is like the biggest kids coaster. You know what I mean? Like, or hey, let's put a top spin on concrete, it's the tallest. You get the gimmicks. But this one genuinely is a record breaker, and that is Tormenta Rampaging Run over at Six Flags over Texas. It's the first Giga dive coaster from B&M. Those of you that don't know, that means it is over 300 feet. It's going to be a big game. Curious, because I've always said, I've done numerous dive coasters out there. Oblivion is not the best by any stretch of the imagination. It was a prototype, and after that drop, nothing happens. So many better dive coasters out there, but I do think it's one of the best drops into that tunnel. So I'm curious what this will be like. No plans to go to Texas anytime soon, but maybe someday I will get on it and experience it for myself. Right, a few updates from Disney then. The first one is that Rock and Roller Coaster is getting reimagined into kind of Muppets from Aerosmith. Now, I'm out there later next year, and I think they've not released a date, but I suspect it'll be open by then. I mean, I'm not expecting a huge amount. The track's not changing. The ride will still ultimately be the same. But I am curious what that means in terms of theming. We've obviously seen concept art of some animatronics in the queue line, the guitars getting all kind of psychedelic and stuff. I assume they'll put some stuff in the actual ride itself, because obviously when they took the former Rock and Roller Coaster at Disneyland Paris and made it the kind of Marvel one, they basically didn't put anything in there, and it's like a black box with nothing. So I'm hoping that there are some at least kind of UV props and stuff kicking around. Again, I'll get out there in September and hopefully get to experience it firsthand. Sticking with Disney though, we've also got a whole new area coming to Disneyland Paris. At long last, we're getting the Frozen area. Now I was thinking on going out there next year, but I actually think I might delay it till 2027, because I always struggle to find a park in January, and Disney's one of them. So brand new area, Frozen ride, etc. So I'm sure it'll be very popular and probably very busy. Right now, the last one I've got, well, there's a few things happening in Disney, but the last one I'm going to mention is Smuggler's Run is getting an overlay. I can't remember the exact overlay, some kind of Yoda type thing. I wasn't impressed with that ride, to be honest with you, but then I also was the engineer when I did it, and that's probably the most boring part of the ride. So I'm also not a massive Star Wars fan. Appreciate the theming, it is a fantastic area, but again, I'm out there next year, might give it a shot, see if it's any good. There's obviously a huge thing happening next year, well, technically happening this year. Wait, this gets released next year, so actually it's last year. Anyway, Six Flags Qiddiya is opening on the 31st of December, so should be open before this video comes out, and they finally did it. So a lot of us, myself included, when we all saw the concepts of this, particularly Falcon's Flight, thought, yeah, okay, that's never going to happen. It happened, it exists, and people have been on it. That thing is absolutely mental. I have no plans currently to go out to the Middle East. I do have a friend out there, so maybe at some point, but it's probably not going to be a 2026 visit, but stunning. From what I've seen of some of the early vlogs, some cracking rides out there, including a bigger Intamin gyro swing. So they did it. Right, the last one I've got is a bit of speculation here in the UK. It's been rumbling for a little while, but kind of rumours are getting a little bit louder, so maybe something's going to happen here, and that is Drayton Manor and Pirates Adventure. Now, I don't remember experiencing this. I've been to Drayton Manor many years ago. The ride closed in 2015, and I guess it was kind of comparable to Pirates of the Caribbean, although I suspect not on anywhere near the same scale. The ride closed. I believe there were some issues with the building. The roof needed some work done, which it has now had done. And there's even been some rumblings that Mac have been on site working on this one. So potentially this is coming back, maybe 2026, maybe 27, who knows. Park hasn't said anything yet, so at the moment it is all rumours and speculation. I did find some interesting photos because I didn't realise it had an interaction with the Dodgems. Right, so there's a snippet of what's coming in 2026. Maybe not the best from a UK point of view, but certainly some cracking things going on internationally. So let me know what you're the most excited for in 2026. And as always, I've been Chris, you've been watching Coaster Dad, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.